I think the best part of being in a show is just all of the backstage interactions that you have with every cast member. Just all of those relationships that you form with people that you wouldn't normally form unless you were in this show together.
Newsies is the story of a bunch of young men getting together to fight for essentially their livelihoods, as Pulitzer, who takes the mantle of a person that's very greedy for his own sake and trods upon the people under him without concern for them. The Newsies have to fight against that in order to essentially achieve their own agency and assure their own livelihood, which is taken away from them at the very beginning of the play.
Interwoven in love stories and stories of friendship. And I think the coolest part of the story is just it shows you like different aspects of what love could be. You wouldn't expect these boys to have so much love in their group, and that's really what this story is about, is just how much they care for and like love each other like a family.
It's a lot about teamwork, hard work, and loyalty to just your friends, your family, and who you view as your family. Newsies does have a lot to do with freedom in the fact that that's what they're fighting for the entire show. These kids are working to the bone because at that time that was what they were allowed to put kids through. And so they were fighting for the freedom that we have today with child labor laws and things like that.
Race was probably my favorite character I have ever played. Slipping into his character was so easy and natural. No matter how much I teased or like joked or poked fun at any of them, I was there to help Jack protect them. It was an amazing character to play because I feel like I'm a super protective person myself, and Race got to do all of that while also like doing fun tricks and teasing them and stealing hats. And I think personally, maybe I'm biased, but I think that he's the most lovable character of the show.
When it comes to a musical, it's so much more physically taxing. You have to go on vocal rest and do all of these vocal warm-ups every day to be able to keep your voice at its peak every day. And then you have your dancing, which I will tell you the majority of us did not know how to tap dance a couple months ago, but you wouldn't know that going to the show. It's so much more physically taxing, but I think that makes it so much more rewarding in the end. I think we definitely have kind of our favorite dance numbers, and I know being on the other side of watching shows, musicals are such a joy to see just because of all of the dancing and the energy of it all.
So working with Angie and Azera really opened my eyes to how to embody a character that isn't me. In many ways, Jack is much more flamboyant, more boisterous, more vocalized than I have ever been in my entire life. Professor Huber is one of those people that is like looking at the ocean. There's so much knowledge that she has, and I know that she's only showed and shared with me a few tidbits of it. And so it's a wonder to work with her, because every single time I'm with her, I learn something new.
I do work a full-time job, so I was trying to balance having a full-time job and then doing the musical 5 days a week for 3 hours of my night. And my days often looked like I would go to work at 8 in the morning. I would get out at 5, I would grab food and clothes for rehearsal, change into that, and then I would head right over and do rehearsal till almost 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. Because this was my acting practicum, this was the last time I was going to be on stage at JPCatholic, so I wanted it to be my 100% effort. I didn't ever want to just like kind of go up there and phone it in. I guess like the biggest thing that helped me get over that and really balance was my passion for the character and my passion for the show. I could have been doing a show that I didn't really care about, and it would have been an entirely different experience. But I wanted to go to rehearsal every night. I was never too tired for rehearsal.
When my fiancé and I first got cast as the two lead love interests together, it felt, oh, of course they did that. But it was funny to hear that they did not even realize that we were actually engaged until after casting.
There was a moment where I was like kind of looking around. I was like, this is what this school means. When we're talking about this community, we're talking about everyone coming together to create this kind of art. We had someone from every single major at the school helping out with this show. And it was just really cool to bond with everyone in that way, rather than in just acting classes. I get to only bond with the other actors.
One of my favorite moments was when we choreographed the fight scene and seeing it all come together. that was one of the moments where I really saw the growth of our cast as a whole. Because we went from very bare bones choreography where we were walking at the 10th of the speed. Everyone was snail pace, and it was actually quite comedic to watch everyone slowly run at each other with their fists in the air, to going from that to a full choreographed fight scene where everyone's moving, there's lots of chaos on stage, but everything is perfectly timed like clockwork. And the energy that you feel because your adrenaline is really pumping, it makes that moment so much more concrete in your mind. I'm really proud of our cast.
The story of Twelfth Night, I'd say it's a girl washing up on shore and realizing she has nowhere to go, so she disguises herself as a guy so that she can work under the local lord.